Hey, we're going to get started because, as you know, there's a UK ball game going on tonight, and we all have to get home and watch that. So I've been well informed. I'm going to call the meeting to order, and thank you all for coming. And if everyone at this time would find a seat and join me in a moment of silence.
I'm recording it.
Thank you. Our pledge now will be led by Isaac Embry, 8th grader at North Middle, and he's the son of Jeff and Carly Embry. Please stand.
Attention, salute, pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
Thank you, Isaac. Okay, board members, we're down to approving the minutes of the prior board meeting. Everyone has had a chance to look over these in your packet. And if no one has anything that they need to bring to the attention, then I need a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Ms. Wells, a second by Mr. Johar. All in favor of approving the minutes of the prior board meeting, say aye. Aye. All opposed? I hear none. Down to approving the agenda. Board members, do you have anything that needs to be added to the agenda tonight?
There's nothing adding tonight. There's nothing to be added.
Okay, have a motion by Mr. Johar to approve. Second by Mr. Bowers. All in favor of approving the agenda as is, say aye. Aye. All opposed? I hear none. And down to recognitions, Ms. Embry.
Good evening, board members and guests. We have lots of guests tonight. This is a special night for our Beta clubs. I want to thank Ms. Higgs and the faculty and staff of Central City Elementary for hosting us. We have with us this evening some exceptional students, along with some proud sponsors and parents. Muhlenberg County Beta clubs have been busy all year, from service projects to fundraisers. In January, several of our students competed at state Beta conventions and received many awards. Starting with our middle schools, the 308 Junior Beta Member Club at North Middle is led by Miss Amy Luttrell, Gail Brothers, Lori Kelton, Laura Franklin, Jackie Fleener, Amy Driscoll, Maria Perkins, and Jessica Cotton. Please join me in thanking those sponsors for their time. And lots of energy, I must add. North Middle has had a state officer for the past 9 years. This past year, Mr. Buzzy Ashley not only won the title as state vice president, but was voted the national junior Beta vice president. So, Mr. Buzzy Ashley, would you please come forward and receive a certificate? Mr. Davis, would you? Chasing after Buzzy by winning the state vice president this year for the coming year is Miss Hannah Rager. Miss Hannah, is she here? There she is. Great. Come on down.
Congratulations, Ann.
Thank you. And we'll say good luck at nationals.
Thank you.
The club placed first in Living Literature, which is made up of 5 students. To accept the award for the club this evening is Isaac Embry. He's representing the Living Lit. The club also placed first in their campaign skit. So I've asked Ashton Caudell if he'll come up and receive that certificate. Your knees are going to start hurting. You might as well just stay standing. And then the club also placed first in trading pins. If Buzzy Ashley would come back up and receive that certificate. Now I'm going to get to some individual awards. Brooklyn Richardson placed second with Spotlight on Your Club. Is Brooklyn here? Haven't seen her. Okay. Jake Allen and Allie Bryn Sommers placed third in technology. Neither of them were able to make it tonight. Ashton Caudell placed fourth in essay. Ashton, you want to come up? Miss Tori Clark placed fifth in math. Is Tori here? Hey, come on up. I said Clark. I'm sorry, Crick. Tori Crick. It's on the certificate, right? And then Mr. Ryan Jones placed sixth with language arts, but was unable to make it tonight. We have Reagan Hafley. She placed in the top 10 with scrapbooking. I don't believe she was able to make it either. Then we have Miss Rayleigh Chadwick. Rayleigh, if you want to come on up, it's going to take me a little while to make all the announcements for you. Rayleigh placed first in sculpture, second place in fabric art, second place in pastel painting, and top 10 in speech. I don't know how you want to juggle all those.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Congratulations, North Middle, for a successful time at the Beta Convention. The club plays, or I'm sorry, we're going to move on to South Middle now. 220 Junior Beta Club member club is led by Michelle Burden and Gwen Carver. Join me in thanking these sponsors for giving of their time and energy. The following students placed first with t-shirt design: Kylie Gates,
Congratulations, Kylie.
thank you.
Get your picture here. Nice job.
Baker Hardison was also a part of that. Baker, okay, Baker's not with us tonight. Madison Morris, come on down. Winning, or placing in the top 10 for speech was Paige Lewis. Is Paige with us tonight? Okay. And then placing in Spotlight Your Club, placing first of all, was Katie Henderson.
Congratulations, Katie.
Thank you.
Nice job.
Check out her shirt. That's the shirt they designed for their club. Awesome. Also, Miss Maria Bogus. I know she's here. Come on.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Nice job.
And Miss Kaylee Miller. Congratulations to South Middle Beta Club. And now the high school. They have a club of 432 students. They received several awards at state as well. The club sponsors are Michelle Armour, Missy Thompson, Stacy Cornett, Rhonda Abbott, Alicia Hutchins, and Amy Luttrell. Please join me in congratulating them. The club at state placed first in the campaign skit. Gabby Armour is going to come up and receive that for the club. Thank you. We have some people that are in doing baseball. Next on the list was placing first with living literature, and there was a group of them. One was Cole Shanks, Matt Thompson, Carson McKinney, Clay Embry, Lee Abbott. I know Lee is here. Come on down, Lee. And Miss Meredith Mays.
Congratulations.
The high school also received first place in Visual Arts Sweepstakes. Gabby, would you mind to come up and receive that for the school? I'm almost finished. Photography, first place was Katie Phipps. Not sure that Katie's here with us tonight. With mixed media, for second place, Miss Kendall Dennis. Is Kendall with us? I know. Third place in woodworking was Matt Thompson, and I know he's not here. Third place for creative writing was Jessie Mitchell. On behalf of the board, congratulations, Beta, and keep up the good work. Thank you, sponsors. Thank you, parents, for the time that you commit to doing this and making it successful for all of them. I'd invite all the parents and Beta members, sponsors, to join me out in the hallway. We'll do a few pictures, and then you'll be free to go if you'd like. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Is here tonight. Hannah. Nothing was surprising with Hannah. Well, the crowd dwindled for your talk. What did they say about you? Daryl, the hand getting better. Hand getting better.
Go ahead and get on with it. That's about Okay, they're about to clear out. We're going to move on now to our treasurer's report. Mr. Bletzinger.
Thank you, Chairman Rager. Tonight I'm bringing you the financials as of February 28th, 2018. Revenues this month, Our beginning balance is down by about 110,000. However, total receipts are up by 6.3 million, and that's because we received our TVA check, as I mentioned on Monday. It was at 6.8 million, $143,000 more than last year. Revenues overall are up about 2.1 million from the same period last year. So, and that's basically because of the timing of the TVA check, wherein last year we received it in January, this year we received it in February, so that's the significant difference. So for a total receipts, or revenues are about 9.5 million, for a total receipts of 27.2 million in cash. So expenditures and expenses this month. We had about $1 million in total accounts payable. Debt service was $500,000. Fund expenses were about $400,000. Construction was $16,000, and that was the architect payments that we discussed on Monday. And then food service, $123,000. Payroll was $2.6 million, and as I mentioned on Monday, a neat fact was our payroll was up by only $78 versus February of last year. So for a total expenses this previous month of $3.688 million. Of the payroll, 2.369 was the gross pay, 784,000 in deductions, with a net pay of about 1.58 million, tax of 380,000, KTRS of 290,000, CERS of 152,000, insurance was 92,000, and all other payments are 136,000 for a total of 2.637 million. The accounts payable breakdown. Variable expenses, or excuse me, fixed and mixed expenses were 799,000, almost 800,000. Utilities expenses were 124,000, and variable expenses were 156,000. So further breakdown of that is the total accounts payable again is 1 million. General fund was 400,000. Construction 16,915. Debt service almost 502,000, and food service of almost 124,000. I was not clicking, I apologize. So the ledger balance at the close of the month was 23.6 million, so the bank balance is about 15.6 with outstanding checks of a little over 500,000, leaving the cash on hand at 15 million. The breakdown of the cash balance, 14.8 of that is general fund. Fund 2 is 88,000. Construction is about $1 million. Still, that's the Bremen ballpark funds. Debt service is at negative 1.19 million. Food service, 271,000. Daycare is at 74,000. And community education is at $294. And investments are at 8.519 million. The extended financial picture. At the end of July, we expect to have about 10.2 million cash on hand due to the 4 checks in June and then finishing out the payments for the year. Are there any questions?
Are there any questions for Eric? If not, I need a motion to approve the treasurer's report. I have a motion by Mr. Bauer. Say second, I'm sorry. Second by Mr. Johar. All in favor of approving the treasurer's report, say aye. Aye. All opposed? I hear none. Payment of bills and salaries, Mr. Blitzinger.
Thank you again. This month I bring $423,363. Of that, general fund is about $196,000. Fund 2 is $28,000. Construction, $12,000. Debt service is $185,000. Almost $186,000 really. Food service and daycare expenses were $111. Utilities expense accounted for about 15% of that. Fixed expenses were about almost 62%, and variable expenses were 23%. The significant checks this month there were 2 to Old National Wealth Management for the $185,000, and there was a $12,610 payment to RBS Design Group for the Bremen ballpark.
Any questions? I need a motion to pay bills and salaries. A motion by Mr. Bowers, and I'll second. All in favor of paying bills and salaries, say aye. Aye. All opposed, I hear none. School bills, payments, Mr. Blitzinger, whoever. You're done. Principals. Board members, you've had a chance to review all the financials and SBDM minutes for last month, and if there's any questions? If not, I need a motion to pay school bills.
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Ms. Wells,
Second.
second by Mr. Bowers. All in favor of paying school bills, say aye. Aye. All opposed? I hear none. And we're down to public participation. We have 2 tonight to speak. First up, we have Tracy Hope. He's going to speak with us about a sports opportunity for students, about a clay target team. Thank you, Tracy.
Superintendent, board members, thank you for your time tonight. It's been about 5 years since I stood before this board wanting to get y'all to allow me to do something in school that was a little different at the time. At that time, we added archery to essentially our school district. Since then, archery has grown to be one of the best sports that we have at our school, and one of the fastest growing in the state. I come back before you now wanting to get you to allow me to add another sports activity to our school. It is referred to as clay targets. Most people in this general area know it as trap. 3 years ago, KHSAA and a national governing body by the name of USA Clay Targets merged in the state of Kentucky to add it to our KHSAA sports activities. It has grown in the state very quickly. USA Trap is a national organization. Right now, they have 17 states and 21,000 participants in this program alone. That is high school age and younger, but the program that we're involved with would be high school only. USA Trap is one of the better governing bodies that we've dealt with. Through the teams that I deal with outside of this, they have a lot more stringent safety protocol as any that we've ever dealt with. Every student that signs up for this program must take and pass a safety course through them. If they take it and fail it, they do not get to participate. It is not a lecture, it is a class. My daughter took the class about 4 months ago. She's very experienced with it, and it still took her almost 3 hours to take the class. So it is very in-depth. All coaches and anyone helping are required to take a class through them and pass it as well, if allowed to do this. Now, in the state of Kentucky alone, there are 39 high schools participating in this program already. Some of those schools close to us are Marshall County, Paducah, Hart County, Callaway County, Caldwell County, Scott County, and Todd County. They added 4 new schools for this year already, and hopefully we'll be adding more. Some of the points and questions that we get asked when we start discussing this program by the general community are equipment. First thing that needs to be said is this program is never done on school property. There is no reason for anybody to have any of the equipment to do this program on school property. Everything is done at a licensed and insured and operated range off campus, after school hours. So it will never be anything to do there. The second thing that needs to be mentioned is the program can be started and operated with absolutely no school board funding. Everything is in place and ready to operate. There's no need for anything, nothing, no equipment has to be bought or purchased or anything of that nature. It's all ready there. License and insurance is a big question when it comes to this. USA Clay Targets, when the students and the coaches take their safety class, when they pass it, every student is insured by USA Clay Targets. When the coaches take their class and pass, they are licensed and insured in the state of Kentucky to operate any outdoor range affiliated with Clay Targets. And we are insured through them as well. I've already met with our local range owner, Mr. Whitmer, and he is 100% on board and behind this. He has already said that he will designate a day a week for the entire season that this group shoots. He will shut down the range and we will be able to take the kids to the licensed and insured range and practice there with no one else being on the property. He was completely behind it. He loved the idea. Right now, as it stands, I have 9 individuals, including myself, that have already obtained more range officer training than the KHSAA or USA Clay Targets requires. We will take the training through USA Trap and Clay Targets at our expense, and as soon as if we are allowed to try this, the classes will be taken. They have spoken up and said they would love to get the training. So that will be taken care of. Right now in Muhlenberg County, we have a program similar to this, but it is a regional program. Just in Muhlenberg County, we have 43 active active participants on the team. We travel a lot with this team. That's one of the issues why this team is not growing right now. This team, like I said, is a regional team and it travels. We may be in Nashville next weekend, and the following weekend we may be in St. Louis. And the next weekend we may be back at Gallatin, Tennessee. It's quite expensive when you start taking 40 or 45 kids to shoot an event like that, and it takes 2 days to shoot them. So you have hotel bills, and some of the kids cannot just afford that. That is the biggest hang-up with the entire program right now. It can't grow because of funding. This program is done completely different. There is no travel with this program. We shoot at our local range. We practice at our local range. 2 range officers are come in on a designated day. They score our teams. They upload them to a computer system that is statewide in the state of Kentucky, and we are scored against the other teams without having to travel to their range. We don't have to go to Lexington or Louisville or anywhere like that. The kids shoot here at home. They won't have to have the overnight stay. They won't have to have the gas bill to drive up there or transportation costs to travel anywhere. They shoot here, which is, I think, one of the biggest factors that will make this program grow very quickly once it's implemented. The kids don't have to have travel costs. They don't have to have that expense. There's no expense to the board as far as equipment, because nationwide, it is delegated that every participant must supply their own equipment. We don't have to supply any equipment to them. We have to provide a licensed range. We have that. So it is, it's a great program. It's growing by leaps and bounds. It is a co-ed program. Boys can do it with girls. Most of the teams you see now, when we go to these events, will have at least 1 or 2 girls on each team. Quite frankly, the girls are whipping up on the boys right now at this. They are, especially at the younger ages, they seem to focus a whole lot better for whatever reason. But right now in Muhlenberg County, we have 9 national champions in this discipline. The reason we don't have more than that in this is due to the cost of travel. To shoot in that national championship that they shoot in, you have to go to Sparta, Illinois, and you have to be there a week to shoot in each discipline. This could put a stop to the cost of that. We can do it here, and this has a state championship at Lexington in June. And I think it will really give kids more of a meaning. And anytime we can teach kids safety, that's our #1 process. Even when we started archery, that was our #1 billing. We were going to teach them how to do this and how to do this safely. We've been doing that now 5 years, and I think it speaks for itself, what it has accomplished and what it's done for the academics in the schools, much less what's on the range. I was discussing with Mr. Davis this past week, we have accomplished something this year at the high school that we've never accomplished before. NASP has a program where they honor kids for their classroom activity as well as their on-range activity. Muhlenberg County's high school is #1 in the state this year on their cumulative GPA for their archery team. They have an accumulative GPA this year of 4.20 for 21 kids, which was outstanding. There's no one in the state even close to that. So that speaks volumes to me of what the kids are willing to accomplish when they want to. I think this program will just be another leg for these kids to stand on and be able to prove what they can accomplish. If anyone has any questions for me, I'd be happy to answer them, if I can.
I don't have a question, but I shot trap for several years, and I really enjoyed it. I have a cousin that was a AA national champion. I have an uncle that was a Class D national champion. So trap shooting's been in our blood for a lot of years.
We have a lot of kids that are very good at it.
Yeah, and it's a lot of fun, a lot of enjoyment.
Teaches a lot of discipline and concentration to be able to do it, because it is a team sport, but a lot of it is individual. You have to perform individually. You cannot lean on somebody else, because there's a 5-person team for each group, and they take 4 scores from the 5. So you can't lean on somebody else. You have to perform. You have to be able to concentrate and do your part on this squad.
So how soon are you wanting us to possibly look at approving this at the next board meeting, or how soon would you need to know to get things organized? I mean, what kind of time frame and timeline are you looking at?
We're ready to go now.
Okay.
The season, I wasn't aware of this. The season starts for this in 3 weeks. I wasn't aware it started that quick. I thought it started the middle of next month. I was incorrect. They have classroom activities we have to accomplish before the kids are allowed to take to the range. And That all has to be done ahead of time, and it has to be done before that 3-week period's up for us to be qualified to shoot in this year's KHSAA participation. Season lasts 8 weeks total. There's 3 weeks of that has to be classroom and practice, and then there's 5 weeks of competition after that period.
Now, when you say classroom, does that mean the hours that the students are there, or is it really an afternoon practice that is
It will all be
in a
done at the
classroom?
range.
After school?
Yes.
Okay. And then is this the educational component or the academic component with shooting sports? Or you mentioned about NASP, so is there an educational?
There is not a requirement for this in school. The requirements for the classrooms on all this have to do with safety protocol and range operation. Like I said, every child has to pass the online class, which takes about 3.5 to 4 hours to do that. And then they're required to have 2 hours of training on site, on range.
And at this range, even though yourself, you described it as you've taken the test,
Yes.
so you're ready to also be a trainer, but the facility where the students go at the private range, do we have to go into any sort of contract agreement with them to, discuss like the insurance and everything through Kentucky High School Athletic Association and all the things you mentioned, just to cover the bases? And then does that facility, the private owner, do they have to take the actual training so that way they're aware?
He is already an NRA and SAG trained official.
SAG is?
They call it SAG. It's a range operating.
Okay.
He has his national training. He has all the training that the government requires for anybody in law enforcement.
Is it the same as the high school training?
Yes. Actually, it's quite a bit more in depth.
Okay, so that we would be covered, they would be familiar with the high schoolers coming in and
Yes, ma'am.
and what's expected of
His
them?
insurance at his range, all we have to do is fill out the forms that he has on each participant, as we do with USA Clay Targets. We have to fill out that form, they have to register it online. When that's registered online and the participants show that they have passed the safety training, they are insured through USA Trap. And when we are at practice, the range owner has liability insurance for every participant that's there, including coaches, as well as USA Clay Targets.
So
Once
there's no
we pass-
cost to the individual to buy any of the insurance that USA provides? Their only cost is just to supply their equipment?
Yes, yes.
So then no stipend or anything associated with this?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
And then of the students you mentioned that are the 43 active participants on the regional team, is that the same thing as like the 4-H shooting sports, or, so that's
It's called an
totally separate?
ATA, it's an ATA Ames team.
ATA Ames?
Ames, AIMS.
Thank you. I'd definitely like some information just to read over, but, do they have a web?
The
not
Ames team
but-
is much larger than that. The Ames team, I don't have an exact number. I'm going to say there's close to 100 individuals involved with shooting on that team. It is a regional team. It covers Muhlenberg, Todd, Christian, Marshall, and Webster counties.
But USA Trap, who you're associating the school students with.
Yes, ma'am.
They have a website?
Yes, ma'am. It's usaclaytargets.com. Our regional, their regional director, our state director through them is Josh Kroles. He's a very informed man, knows exactly what's going on with everything. He's the one that gave me all the numbers for everybody in the state and the nation.
So if we did put this on the agenda, possibly this next month, you're gonna be a little behind anyway if it was approved. But all of this other stuff, does it need to, the preliminary things that you were talking about, it can't be done until we approve it, is that correct?
That's exactly.
And then it takes
I have to have the
another,
board's approval before I have to call Josh and tell him that Muhlenberg County's board has said we can participate. Then he will set up the account for us to be able to go in and have our participants go in and do their training. The account won't open until the board has said it's okay.
But now some people have already taken the test for training, is this right?
Yes.
Okay.
We
So-
took it when we got involved with Ames. The
Okay.
Ames training that we took and USA Clay Targets is the same training.
Okay.
It's just under a different umbrella with it being KHSAA. But it is the exact same class. A lot of these, the Muhlenberg County participants will have to take the class twice because we have it for Ames. But Ames, USA Clay Targets with KHSAA will not honor what Ames has done. So they will have to go back in and take the class under the USA Clay Targets
And
KHSAA.
how much is the class?
Pardon me?
How much is the class?
I think the class is $15 total,
For the student?
yeah, for the participant. And that's good for, as long as they are participating, that is good for that year's season. Now, if they drop out or anything of that nature, we have to go in and notify them and they do away with that account. If they come back, they have to do it again. As long as they're an active participant, the class is good.
What's the cost of the equipment per kid?
Pardon me, sir?
What's the cost of the equipment per kid?
I can't hear you.
What's the cost of equipment for kids?
Equipment ranges, we have kids on our trap team here in the county shooting with Granddad's old 835 Mossberg. That was $250. Some of the kids on the team this year have $14,000 Blausers. You can spend what you want. Shells are normally, they're going to be somewhere around $5 to $7 a box. That's about average. But guns are across the board. They can spend what they want to or what they can afford.
So there's not a certain gun that they have to use. I'm aware of in NASP, there's a certain
NASP
bow that you
has
have to
very strict-
use,
yeah.
so it keeps everything, the Genesis bow, I believe is what it is. So in
Yes.
this particular setting, they do not have to, they can select whatever,
You have 2 gauges you can shoot. You have a 12 gauge and 20 gauge. That's the only 2 they allow. As long as the gun is deemed safe to fire by the head range officer, which would either be myself or Mr. Whitmer, one of the 2 of us, if we judge the gun safe to operate, it is legal. You'll see pumps, you'll see automatics, you see over and unders, you'll see unsingles, you'll see unsingle combos. There's no rhyme or riddle to which one. It's whatever a young man or woman has shot the most that they're comfortable with. That's what you'll see them bring to practice.
You said the season starts in 3 weeks, so
Yes, ma'am.
our board meeting won't be within that parameters. Can you start late with this stuff?
No, ma'am. If we miss the training 3 weeks, we cannot start till the following year.
so the students can't go ahead and take a test and get, I mean, you're coming to us now saying we have a very short period of time.
Yes, ma'am.
And of course, all of a sudden, we have to speed everything up. Now, can the students go ahead and take the test?
They will not open the account until we have permission from the school to actually allow them to do it. USA Trap will not, I talked to them about maybe allowing the kids to take their training online,
Yeah.
and then the coaches having to take the training once the board said we could or couldn't.
So the $15 where the student takes the test, you set up an account at the school, like an activities account, and Red Book training is followed, right? I guess the same,
No,
just like any other school activity fund account, correct?
The child pays that individually.
Okay. Even though they're going to be associated with the school?
Yes.
So there's not a school activity account that'll have to be established and Red Book training?
No, there will be no school account to operate the program.
Can we not call a special call next one?
Yeah, we can.
I don't know that it needs a special call meeting. I mean, surely you would have known it would have taken a little bit of time for us to decide.
Well, I did not find out about the 3-week period till I got to researching this about 2 months ago, this program. I got to researching the program, and then I found out that the 3-week period that had to do the training was before everything, and it had to be completed before you could start. I thought 3-week training could be done during the actual season. I wasn't aware it had to be completely completed and done and behind you before you could ever even start the program.
So say it takes off and when there's fundraising that's associated with it, okay? You still don't need a school activity account?
If there's any fundraising done, it will have to be done that way.
Okay, that's what I was thinking. So I was just wondering, when the student actually pays their $15, there's no fee, club fee, there's no fee there. So then there's another account, or how does that work? Because then that would be two separate things, the fundraising for school activity, and then the fee that the student takes to take the test, the $15, because I guess that would be transportable, because it is associated with that student.
Now, every coach that I've talked to in the state, the fee is paid individually.
Okay.
And then, as far as fundraising, some schools do fundraising for it, some schools don't. If you had fundraisers, yes, you would have to start an account through the school.
So is there going to be a fee associated with the club? Like, to participate, whether it's...
Not this year.
Okay.
This year, because we are trying to get started and we are starting late, we are not going to open this up to the entire school body. There's no way that we could do that in this short a period of time. More than likely, it's going to be opened up to the kids that are part of the Ames and the 4-H shooting sports team that we've already had in training, that know what's going on, and will be able to accomplish it in a short period of time. Next year, we will have everything set up, ready to go ahead of time, and we will be able to open it to the school body to see exactly how many we can get involved.
All right, is there any more questions for Mr. Hope? Thank you. Thank you. Do y'all want to have a special call to discuss, or do you?
Chairman Rager, I would suggest you give us a little time to do some checking on our end too. I totally trust him, but I know Eric has already looked into the insurance thing, and he's getting a little bit different information. So we want to clarify that. Background checks for anybody working with our kids would have to be on file. So there's other things that, I'm all for anything for our kids, but this is fast. And I just want to make sure we're in compliance with everything, because some things, Mr. Hope may not be aware of that we need to check on. So I've already had Eric start looking into it. We just heard about it. And I know insurance-wise, he had some questions as well, but also just things that are coming to my mind, like background checks. If it's going to be at Muhlenberg County High School, anything, whoever works with the kids will have to have a background check for sure. That's just one thing that comes to mind. There may be others, but that's why I want to make sure we're doing our due diligence before we, obviously it's a pleasure of the board, but let us do our due diligence as quickly as we can.
We'll just get some more information to us, and then we can decide maybe in the next couple of
I
weeks.
can
if we
answer
need
as
to.
far as the background checks. All 9 of the individuals that we have already have those because they're a member of the ATA team and the 4-H shooting sports team. Their background checks have already been done through the Kentucky State Police. We have to have those for those 2 groups as well.
Okay.
They're already on record with Kentucky State.
And everything may be perfectly in order. I just want to make sure before we recommend anything.
Thank you. Okay, next up is Logan Porter, Chamber at ACT today.
Good evening, board members. I'm Logan Porter with Old National, and this year I have the honor of representing the business community as president of the Greater Muhlenberg Chamber of Commerce. So I wanted to share with you all two things that we've had. That we took a trip last month, and then an event we have coming up on Tuesday. But first off, I want to thank you all and congratulate the school system and the teachers in the elementary school on the great third grade reading scores that we've had this past year. The chamber took a trip to Frankfurt last month, and 20 people from the county went up and met with different cabinets, economic development cabinet, the education cabinet, as well as the labor cabinet, just to share all the good news that we have going on here in Muhlenberg County. And we were pleased to share those third grade reading scores because they're above the state average, and according to the Secretary of Education, Hal Heiner, they're some of the best in the state, especially compared to the big cities. So just thank the elementary school teachers for those third grade reading scores, and Vicki Yance and her team at SOAR for all they've done to improve those scores over the last few years. And the next event we have coming up on Tuesday, I'll let you pass it on. The Chamber of Commerce is having a pep rally at the high school on next Tuesday morning. All the juniors in the state of Kentucky will be required to take the ACT. So the business community is coming together. We're going to line the sidewalks, passing out Smarties and Mints, and SOAR and Muhlenberg Achieves is going to be passing out pencils. So we've invited all the businesses to participate as well as the retired teachers. And we also wanted to extend the invitation to you all to show up. It starts at 8 in the morning. We're going to line the sidewalks, cheer the kids on. All that's required is you to show up with a smile, a hand to give high fives, and an encouraging attitude for those students. The chamber ambassadors today created signs to hold up. So I think we're ready. We're just trying to do a great fun morning and to encourage those kids as they take that important college entrance exam. So any questions about the upcoming project?
Thank you.
All right. Thank you all.
Do more checks on that tomorrow.
Okay, now we are down to the superintendent report. Mr. Davis.
Thank you, Chairman Rager, board members. Julie Penley is first up. She's going to talk about a couple of things going on. She mentioned them a little bit on Monday, but she's going to follow up.
We have two topics that we want to talk about tonight. Do you want to start with the tip line or? Okay. So we're actually going to start with a tip line. Oh, thank you. And we're excited to let you know that we do have a signed agreement now between Muhlenberg County Schools and Kentucky Center for School Safety to operate the safety tip line, which is a tip line that will be placed on our Muhlenberg County website on Monday. We go live Monday, and part of our agreement is we need to present this in a board meeting, and so that's what we're doing tonight. And on Monday, if you go to our website, you'll see this big, nice red stop sign right here. And if you'll click on that button, then you'll notice here, I can't do the clicker, I think I've got too many things on my hand. You'll see Test School District here, that will actually turn to Muhlenberg County Schools. And then you'll have the opportunity to click on bullying, violence, or other issues. And if you'll click on bullying, we'll show that one really quickly. You'll scroll down and you can complete this with a computer or an iPhone. That'll be next. Put that down. And so it's really simple. All you do is fill out the school, the grade, the lettering up here is small, so you choose, I'll read it for you, I am being bullied or I'm reporting for someone else. You have to describe what kind of bullying, what the problem is, who is doing the bullying, or they think might be doing the bullying, where is it occurring. You can choose either at school or not at school, and then give some more details. I want to highlight here at the bottom, there's some levels. If the person just wants to make the school aware, then they click the top button, and that just says, I want you to be aware, and that can be an anonymous report. You don't have to leave a name or a phone number. The next two levels, I need someone to contact me. If you click on that button, then the person would be required to leave their name and a callback number. And then the third level, which was the more significant level, is an alert. This needs attention soon. But all throughout this, you'll see that there's a comment that says, if you need immediate assistance, you need to call 911. This is not a tip line that you would use for any immediate dangerous situation. We still need to rely on 911 for that. And it's also not meant meant to replace the conversations that we're having with principals, guidance counselors, and teachers. So this is just another tool that our families can put in their toolbox. It's not meant to replace the good old-fashioned pick up the phone and call, or maybe email nowadays. So, but we will unveil this on Monday night at our digital media workshop that we're going to have. And so our parents who are there will be able to see it firsthand. And again, it goes live, so you can even do that early Monday morning if you needed to use it. Any questions on that? Okay, so if Hannah will go out in the front here and show our poster. You all probably seen this out and about. I'll do it. You've probably seen these out and about. And we do have an awesome experience coming up on Monday night. Scott Harvey will be here to teach about the dangers of social media use. And I think this has really gotten a lot of attention, especially here lately after these events of violence that are happening around our country. So he will start out early morning at South Middle. He'll be there for an hour. We'll make it to North Middle for a student presentation there right before lunch. And then we're actually going to give him a lunch break. And then we'll start back up after lunch at East for an hour-long presentation. And then we'll be at Felix Martin Hall at 6 o'clock. And we want everybody to come. We are offering childcare for those in grades K through 8 who need a place for their children to go. We don't want that to be a hang-up for them not to be there. We've got lots of people going to work and supervise, and we've got a big system worked out for check-in and check-out. So, we'll hold this up, John? Okay. We do want to invite you all board members to attend, be there and support, and we've got some t-shirts that you'll find. Our board members will have one, we'll have administrators and others, they'll be wearing these, and so, but this is one of the pieces that Mr. Davis has been really trying to put together. Is it's not only our kids at school, we're trying to get a community feeling that it's our parents, our families, our community, our schools all working together, because in the middle of it all is what really matters, and that's our kids. And so that's what, if you could see this, that's what we're trying to show in the picture. So as I take this to Miss Stephanie.
Thank you.
I always wanted to model.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Julie. Following up on that is to just talk a little bit about safety, just to let everyone know it is on our minds just every day. We're talking about it and trying to make improvements and continue to do things we've been doing right. And this is one thing we added, the tip line. I want to thank Julie, Melody, and some others for working on that. I'm really excited about the meeting Monday night. From all accounts, this gentleman is top of the line. And I think that hopefully we have a big turnout in the community. And it's going to go, because a lot of the problems we're having with safety are coming through social media. And so this, he's really going to go in with parents, and I'm curious as a parent as well to hear what he has to say on how to look for things, what maybe the kids are doing that we don't know. So again, comes highly recommended, and Julie said it well, but I'm really hoping for, and I want to commend a lot of community folks and parents as well, but when we can do more, including the schools, when we can do more of what can we do better, rather than pointing the finger and saying what you're not doing well, the kids are going to benefit. So when the community and the parents and the school system get on the same page more, and I've seen that. I have seen that a lot of the things that have been reported are coming from kids are now telling more. Parents are letting us know. Community members are saying, what can we do? Things like Logan, you know, they're just things where we're coming together. So some good is coming at us of a lot of the bad. And so I did want to say that as far as the safety goes. March 27th, the large group of about 50 first responders and all, and I think Daryl and Susan, I think you came to that one, March 27th. We're getting back together. So we'd like a couple of board members. Y'all can sort that out. We're going to do that at 11 o'clock at West Campus. We'll have the state police and all local responders and local police as well. So look forward to that. Talk just a little bit about pension and budget. We're still concerned. I've been saying this now for basically 3 straight months, and eventually we're going to know something. But now we're concerned. They play off each other. SB 1 is the pension. It is in the Senate now, and It seems to be rather dead. I don't think they're making much progress with that, but that would hurt our school system greatly. And I want to try to say this without all the rhetoric that's being thrown around. There's a lot of inflammatory things being said. I respect our teachers, I respect our educators for what they do. They're not selfish. A lot of things have been said about them. That's just not true. They care about our kids. They work long hours. They spend their own money. I just respect them, and I hope we all are on board with that. They deserve that. And when I say teachers, that's where the rubber meets the road, but it's the whole supporting cast as well. They all deserve our respect. There was a time when teaching was a noble profession. I miss those times because now it seems they're getting attacked on all ends, be it Facebook, at home, and now from our governor. So that's disappointing, but I think our community in particular, from what I'm hearing from other superintendents, our community has stayed with us pretty well through the safety things and through the pension things and the budget things, and I'm very, very appreciative of that. So I did want to mention that. We'll be watching it. I'll try to forward stuff to y'all as well. The bill that came out of the House, the budget bill, is much, much better. And, the pension thing, we'll see. It's possible that nothing gets passed, and I don't think that's necessarily what we want. We know maybe we need to do better in some ways, but hopefully in a way that we can still continue to do what's best for our kids. So that's where we are with my update with pension and budget and the safety. And I would like now to give principals a chance to tell you some good things that are going on, and we're going to start with Alex Watkins from Renaissance Center.
All right, thank you. Big shout out to Ms. Kelly Melton and Mr. Ryan Groves. They got 19 students registered for the ACT this week, or actually last week. They'll be taking it Tuesday. It's coming Tuesday over at the West Campus, I believe. Right. So kind of getting ready for the testing, and it's that time of the year. So thanks to those two teachers who worked with those kids and very patiently got them registered. I spoke with Miss Beth Ellis, our new program coordinator. We have 16 students who are on pace to graduate this school year. We have a couple more that kind of kick it in gear a little bit. They may graduate too. So 16 is the highest number that I've had since I've been there for the last 2 years. So excited about that, and possibly with a couple more. And then lastly, Mr. Carver sends me some emails every now and then bragging about students that we sent back to school. We had 3 students pass the MOS, which is the Microsoft Office Specialist certification. It's a lifetime certification that shows that you are proficient in using Microsoft Office products, and it's a national test, like I said. This is a certification that they can present to future employers. So proud of those 3 guys that not only went back to the regular school, but have been successful too.
Thank you, Alex. Lori Stover, are you here for Bremen?
I am. Good evening, Madam Chairman and board members. Thank you for this opportunity for the assistant principal. There's a lot going on at Bremen Elementary this past month. We're very proud of a 5th grader. Her name is Rayleigh Romans, and she was chosen as the school winner for the AARP Grandparent of the Year essay. And for the first time ever, she is the county winner as well. So she will be representing our county in the regional competition soon. So that's a record-breaking event there for us. We're very proud of her for that. We just recently had our 5th grade Blacks Museum, which is amazing as well. The 5th grade students research a historical figure, dress the part, and they have a button in the floor. You walk up, press the button, and they act the part and tell all of their information about their historical figure that they researched. They perform that during the day for the students, and then in the evening for the community as well. It was a great turnout. Appreciate the community support that we have there for you. Yesterday, we had our 6th annual talent show. And students from grades 2nd grade and 5th grade are allowed to audition, and those who are chosen to perform, have the small allotted time in the afternoon, and they all put on this talent show. And we had everything from hoverboard dancing to gymnastics to puppet shows, magic, singing. We had a special guest. KISS did a reuniting event there. We had a concert from KISS. It was amazing. Of course, the choir began with Bon Jovi, so I thought they were doing that especially for me. But it was a great time, great talent in that school, and it was a chance for the students to show that off. We've got a couple of things coming up next month. Mainly next month, of course, is time for crunch time. We're starting to prepare for K-Prep. Got some scrimmages on the books. We'll be looking at data and making, some changes for whatever we need to do to prepare for that. And then on April 27th, we would like to invite you guys to come that afternoon, beginning at 1. Ms. Embry will be glad to hear that we will be doing our career presentations. That's provided by the Felix Martin Work Ready Grant. So the students are very excited about that. They've been working all year on researching and deciding what they want to be when they grow up. And so they'll be using that to the community as well.
Thank you. Ms. Higgs, Central City?
Good evening. It's been a busy time at Central City Elementary as well. The last week of February, we celebrated Read Across America. It ended with a culminating activity on all the places you'll go on Friday. We had a balloon launch, and our balloons made it to as far as St. Augustine, Florida, and Jacksonville, Florida. So we're really excited about that. I wish I brought it, and I didn't, but a lady actually wrote a letter back to one of our students. And in the letter, she expressed how she found the balloon. She was actually an educator herself, and she was having a really bad day. It turned her day around. So,
That's amazing. That's really cool.
That's really neat. So she has a full page, just a page and a half letter. Explaining that. On March 6th, we had a multicultural fair. We did it a little differently this year. We kind of based it on the Winter Olympics. And so each class represented a different country, and they participated in your own version of the Winter Olympics. Quite creative on our sledding and bobsledding and things like that. Germany seemed to take the lead on most of the gold trophies in those events. On March 13th, we had the Kentucky Science Center here who did an assembly called Ion Jones and the Lost Castle of Chemistry. It was a full production, full assembly, and then it was followed by, we broke out into 10 different stations, and our children got to go through and rotate through those stations doing different science activities. So it's an all-day affair, and the kids had a great time. It's probably the best program that we've ever had in our building in the last several years. And we also had breakfast with the principal, had parents come in for a meeting with me, talk about the positives of Central City Elementary and maybe some things that we need to work on as well. So it's been a busy time. We too have our career fair coming up, and it's up on the 22nd. That'll be during the daytime for our student body, and then we'll do that night.
Thank you, Janet. Ms. Jones, Greenville?
On March 2nd, we did a variety of activities to celebrate Reading Across America, starting with Miss Gabby Armour that was here earlier. She came that morning and read to several classrooms. She did a fabulous job. Later that afternoon, our primary classrooms and intermediate classrooms partnered up to read together. They really enjoy doing that each year. That evening, we had our Title I Family Reading Night, and we had a huge birthday party for Dr. Seuss. Family Resource really sponsored that with cake and ice cream, and families got to make birthday hats in the cafeteria. Our second grade teachers and classrooms did station activities, reading stations that our students participate in during reading centers during the school day. So parents got to experience that and do those along with their students that night. Our third grade classrooms, and I think Ms. Sherry has a picture of an example. Our third grade classrooms did a wax museum as well, and that student is Miss Reese Brassel. She's the daughter of Corey and Amber Brassel of Greenville, and she portrayed Gertrude, the first woman that swim the English Channel. So students were very impressive that evening, the way they memorized their parts and really got into their roles. Our archery team, we were very proud of them. They qualified for state competition. They will be traveling to Louisville on March 30th. Yesterday, Miss Tab and Miss House, a couple of our second grade teachers, they took their classrooms. They were recipients of the Cedar Grant, and they were able to join the Warrior Coal Company. And they also went to Madisonville Community College. The students were able to do a simulation, actually participate in the simulation room there. And then at Warrior Coal, they were fabulous. They left the students, they gave them a tour around the coal mine. The students came back with minor cans and bags of coal. So each student was given coal yesterday. Our academic team, last time we met, they were on their way to regional competition. Very proud of them. They actually were third place in quick recall and runners up in overall in the regional competition. So they're actually going to be with us next month when you all come to Greenville, and we're going to actually recognize them for their individual awards and things. Tuesday, we came back after having a snow day to Chinese acrobats that morning, so it's been very busy. That was very amazing. I was a little nervous during that, I'll admit, but it went well and the students really enjoyed it. And Monday night, before you go to the digital parenting, we hope everyone will come out to McDonald's at 4 o'clock and eat and support our Junior Beta Club, please.
When is that?
That's Monday night, 4 o'clock, Monday night. It'll be 4 to 7, but you can come before you go to Wheeler's Lane.
Thank you, Stacy. Mr. Hardison, longest?
Thank you, Mr. Davis, board members. I want to briefly just invite our board members to a fifth grade presentation we have Thursday night at Martin Hall. Our fifth graders are going to be presenting American Voices play. We're very excited about that. And then we have a lot of exciting things going on, but I wanted to spend the rest of my time give it to Ms. Sean Bruce and Ms. Ann Gant. They're going to tell you about primetime reading that's going on at Longest.
Okay, we got a grant for a primetime reading program, and we're really, really excited. It's a family literacy-based program with humanities-based questions, discussions, and stories. So we brought a couple of our participants, and it's really it's growing. It's growing pretty quickly. And they were just going to tell what their favorite books and what they like best. So I'm going to introduce Paige Gary. Paige, what's your favorite book, or what's your favorite book so far? The True Story of the Three Little Pigs, which discusses the humanities topic of fairness, and The Big Orange Splot, which discusses the topic of individuality. And this is Briar Fauntleroy. Briar, what's your favorite?
Orange Splot.
And what do you love about it?
I love it because it makes you want to be more different.
Yes, it's really opened up great conversations between children, their families, and us, and we just feel like it's great for building community and interesting conversations and deep topics to think about and take home. So we're really excited. Thank you all for supporting this.
And I just brought along a few of the books that we've used so far. We have several, but these were just a few that I wanted to share.
And the kids have loved it so much, they've asked us to do it extra nights a week.
Good. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
You. Mr. Wells, South Elementary.
Good evening. At South Elementary, a lot of things have been going on. Some of this you've already heard from the other elementary. Dr. Seuss's birthday was a big deal. We celebrated 2 days. We started on Thursday night. The first with kindergarten family night. We had Dr. Seuss there with the Cat in the Hat, Sam I Am, and Thing 1 and Thing 2. It was put on by the kindergarten teachers. All the students that were there received a free Dr. Seuss book, launched by Family Resource. Friday, Thing 1, Thing 2 were there first thing in the morning, causing trouble. The Cat in the Hat was running around with his net, chasing them, causing trouble. But needless to say, we had a great start to our day. We had more students eating breakfast than any other day of the year. No one got sick on the green eggs and ham. We had a cafeteria full of students eating breakfast that day. Again, on that day, we gave away a lot of books on the school news, again, sponsored by the Family Resource Center. In conjunction with that, during the day, we had a beautiful day weather-wise. We released about 800 balloons. On the 2nd, they traveled south. Most of them are popping and landing around Knoxville. We had 21 return. On Monday, we released another batch for a head start, and the wind was blowing opposite direction, so they went due north. And we're finding them in the city of Drakesboro. A lot of them.
I don't run too far.
What's cool about that is our kids are out looking for them and bringing them back. All the kids that get a balloon back are recognized on the school news. We send a postcard out to the folks that sent the letters back. They'll know we received their letter. There's a website you can go to that's attached to our school website where you can see the tracking of the balloons. Every balloon that comes in is put on the map. So it's a cool way to talk about weather, geography, and all the cool things with that. Third grade, last week we had what was this past week? We had our third grade family night. And kind of getting our kids geared up for the first round of testing to take care of. And we paired the kids up against the parents. And I'm happy to report that our kids are much smarter than their parents in third grade. We're winning the contest. We're finishing up our book fair this week. We've been giving away a lot of tickets and gift certificates for free books for a lot of our kids. I want to thank Kim Meadows and Family Resource for making that happen. Recently, we've been trying to boost our attendance. We had pancakes with the principals. We were able to do that 3 Fridays, second grade once twice, fourth grade one time. So to try to treat everybody, I worked with our food resource folks and cafeteria workers, and we were able to do a pancake breakfast for the school-wide, and we reached the goal of 95%, which we did a few weeks ago. So we were able to do that for everybody. I want to thank our cafeteria folks and Ms. Joe at the board for letting us do that. That's all we have.
Thank you, Mr. Wells. So to recap, as far south as Knoxville and as far north as Drakesboro. All right, thank you. Mr. Rager, North Middle.
We had our first annual mother-daughter night with special guest Miss Kentucky, Molly Matney, and then we had a father-son night, and Master Jim Johnson came from Central City, or Newark County Taekwondo, and did a self-defense class. And now all the girls have demanded a self-defense class, so Mr. Johnson can come back and we're going to do that one night for them. Last week, I got a phone call from Channel 13 WBKO to let us know that we were selected for our Leadership Challenge versus Barron County Middle, and it was where we voted, and we actually won the challenge. So on Wednesday at 9 o'clock, I'd like to invite board members for you all to come and simple office staff. We're going to get a visit from the mascot at WBKO, Poppy, which is a raccoon, and the news crew. So they're going to come, and it has to do with recognition of the leadership activities by the Junior Beta Club, and especially Project Warm that they did, where they went to the preschools and they were able to give the toboggans and gloves to every preschool student. And actually, we had so many where we were able to extend that to Ohio County as well. And I was actually there watching the presentations of that, and it was just awesome to see the middle school students get down on their knees and present those to the kids. They'll be here for that, and we'll be entered into a drawing for $2,000, and if we win that, that would go to further on our leadership activities. So we're really excited about that.
Good.
That's kind of what's been going on in North Middle.
Thank you, Mr. Rager. Mr. Lyle, South Middle.
First of all, I'd like to give a shout out to our community. We've had 2 events recently, one for our 7th grade, which was our reality store. A lot of community folk came in, a lot of parents, and created that opportunity for our 7th graders. Also, our operation preparation. We had a lot of community members come in and talk one-on-one with our 8th graders about their future goals in the high school and beyond. With the Reality Store, big shout out to our family resource centers because they do all the behind the scenes work for that, the setup, the tear down, and getting the volunteers there. For the operation preparation, big shout out to Carly Embry, also Miss Jamie Randolph, Miss Natalie Knowles, Miss Jeannie Jenkins. Those folks really come together to make that event a success as well. Shout out also to our high school. Our 8th graders had freshman parent nights. I think it was last week maybe. I attended, and not only as a principal, but I attended as a parent. And from a parent point of view, they did a great job. Can't say enough about the job that the high school did for our parent night. So we appreciate that, Ms. Bump and all of her staff for the great job that they did. And as Mr. Rager mentioned, we have our mother-daughter night coming up on Tuesday. And they will be doing, they're doing cutouts of something, thinking maybe flowers this year and painting, and I'm always amazed at the artwork that comes out of that. And this year for our father-son night, which is Thursday, this will be our first ever recording tournament. So we'll have father-sons competing and for individual grade award winners, and then also an overall winner. So, thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Lyle. I think we have Mr. Carver here for the high school.
Thank you. A couple big community things that we've had here recently are our Operation Preparation and Career Day. It's amazing to see how much community support that we have turn out for that each and every year. Huge shout out to Ms. Tracy Warner, our guidance counselor, one of our counselors at East Campus, who did a tremendous job planning that. Ms. Henry also did a great job helping with that as well. As Mr. Lyle alluded to, the incoming freshman parent night, Ms. Clark, our freshman principal, does a great job planning that. The 8th grade visits we had this past week as well, where the incoming freshmen, the 8th graders come over and tour the school, get to eat in our cafeteria, talk about career pathways. Another thing, community-wise, very, very appreciative of the people who showed up Sunday for the prayer walk at our school, both East and West Campus. I know they showed up at a lot of the other schools as well, so very appreciative of that. And our math teachers attended a Canadian training Monday and Tuesday of this week. Did some walkthroughs today in those math classrooms. Already seeing those strategies being implemented. Kids are really enjoying it. Teachers are enjoying it. Teachers are buying into it. They're doing a fantastic job with those strategies. And then last, but probably the best, I want to brag on one of our students, Miss Olivia Perkins. She is a recipient of the University of Kentucky Otis Singletary Scholarship. Total around $68,000 worth of scholarship money that she received, is going to receive. And probably more astonishing is just there were 2,200 applicants, approximately 2,200 applicants, 150 interviews, but only 25 total scholarships that the University of Kentucky awarded. And one of our very own Olivia Perkins received that. So I think Ms. Bump said out of our 9 or 10 years of high school, we've had one that it seems like 6 or 7 of the 8 years. So Ms. Perkins is added to that list.
She takes after her mama.
Hey, Mr. Carver.
Yes.
Yesterday was the walkout. Did we have any students that participated in that?
We did.
About how many?
Very respectful, very orderly. We probably had at East Campus, our estimate was probably about 100 students. At West Campus, at West Campus, I believe it was about 100 students, 120. So probably between both campuses, about 200 to 250 students.
So did it happen during the day? Was there a time that?
It was 10 o'clock.
10 o'clock?
It was a kind of a nationwide thing that they promoted and happened at 10 o'clock.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Carver. Chairman, that's my superintendent's report.
All right, thank you. Thank you all. We're down to personnel actions, and that's Ms. Browning.
Good evening, everyone. In personnel actions for the period of February 7th through March the 6th, 2018, under certified personnel employment, there were 6 actions. Reassignment of certified personnel, there were 2. Resignation of certified personnel, there were also 2. Classified personnel employment, there were 4. Resignation of classified personnel, 3. And reassignment of classified personnel, 3.
Thank you. And attendance. Attendance and enrollment, Mr. Freeman.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, board members. I have information regarding our 6-month attendance, January 24th to February 21st. Our attendance for the month was 92.44, which was up 2.20 percentage points from last year at this, ending the 6th month. For the year, we're down 1/100th of a percentage point for the year compared to last year. Our enrollment currently, ending the 6th month, 4,611, compared to last year at this time, down 117. From the previous month, we were down 21 students, and from the last day of school last year, we were down 95. Our current enrollment at this morning, currently we're at 4,571. So we've had, since the end of the 6th month, we're down about 40 students. So, anxious to see where that goes in this month. So, any questions?
Last year, we went by this, the 1 to 2%, the projected decrease in enrollment. And so now we're at, let's see, the 2% decrease would be 4,645 students, and we're lower than that now, 4,611. So really, we're really more than a 2% decrease. I mean,
I think it's fair to say.
so this is really better than what we're actually, what our actual enrollment is,
I'd
so
say at this point, yes, ma'am.
greater than a 2% decrease from
Yes, ma'am,
last year.
that's correct, yes.
Any questions? All right, thank you very much. So we're down to our board action items. To consider amending the 2017-18 school calendar.
Mr. Chairman, board members, hopefully it'll be the last time we come to you regarding, it should finalize the calendar for our current school year 17-18. Due to inclement weather, 4 instructional days, 3 staff working days, and then 1 class, or 1 closing day for staff needs to be amended to our current year calendar. This will meet all the KRS statutes, requirements for the school calendar. I would, as far as making up student instructional days, we can use Monday the 21st in our original schedule or calendar. May the 18th was the last day for students, but I would, May 21st, Wednesday, May 23rd, Thursday, May 24th, Friday, May 25th, and then Tuesday, May 29th. Those can be used as instructional days. A staff workday can be used on, as Mr. Davis did this past Monday for this last batch of snow, Monday, March 12th, which follows the policy as far as Mr. Davis granting that. Tuesday, May 22nd would also be a work day for staff. That is election day, and again, due to statutes, we're a polling place in most of our schools, so we cannot have students attend that day. And then our last one, a working day, would be Thursday, May 31st. We would also be able to have a closing day to May 30th, the day prior to. The reason for that is some of our staff would fulfill their contract on that day. So instead of them having a day off and then come the 31st, that way they could finish out that contract. Again, some of them are 181, not everybody's 185. Okay, so I would recommend that the board would amend the calendar to make the 21st, 23rd, 24th, and 25th, as well as the 29th of May. Those would be student instructional days, and March 12th, May 22nd, May 31st, staff work days. And then our staff closing day would be May 30th, and that would get us out prior to June, which is always a goal of ours. So, any questions?
So the 29th is, May 29th is also a student day, right?
Yes, ma'am. Unfortunately.
So any thoughts when graduation would be?
No, ma'am, I have not.
The 29th is a Tuesday.
Yes, ma'am.
It'd have to be after that.
All right, could be
So-
that, the earliest I would think would be that night.
Oh, the Tuesday night?
It could be. That would be the earliest I would think it would be. So we had that Tuesday, the 29th, that would be day 170. So we have no choice. That's what we have to do it there. There's no other days as far as to use for makeup or student days.
Okay, so you're saying, repeat one more time, we're trying to compare and make sure what you said is what's on this. I think we were a little off on a day for some reason. May 21st, 23rd, 24th, and 25th for student instructional days, correct?
As well as the 29th as well.
And the 29th.
Yes, ma'am.
It's
In
missing.
the recommendation. It just says the 20, through the 25th, and it's got the 29th, staff closing day.
The closing day would be the 30th. That would be the last day, that would be the closing day for staff.
Okay.
Closing day for staff, the 30th. And then the 31st would be the last work day for staff.
Okay, so that should read the 29th, and then the May 22nd, 30th, and 31st, staff work days,
Yes, May 22nd, 31st, yes, ma'am, that's correct.
30th and 31st, okay. And then the staff closing day was the 31st, right?
The staff closing day would be the 30th.
30th, okay.
Yes, ma'am.
My goodness. Okay.
If we were
I
able to
always
go on
dread
the
this
22nd, it
vote.
would make it a lot easier, but unfortunately we can't, so.
Okay, I need a motion. Got a motion by Mr. Bowers. Second by Mr. Johar. All in favor of approving the calendar? Do I have to say all this? With the student instructional days to be May 21st, 23rd, 24th, 25th, and 29th. And the staff work days will be the 22nd of May, the 30th, and the 31st. And then the staff closing day is the 30th, correct?
That's correct. March 12th, which was already, that would be already, right, yes.
Good.
Thank you.
All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? I hear none. Okay, next is our approval of the Muhlenberg South Middle School 2017-18 textbook purchase. Ms. Roberts.
Good evening, Chairman Rader and board members. Muhlenberg South Middle would like to purchase the Go Math Hybrid Student Resource Package, and this would provide 170 textbooks for sixth grade students, as well as the resources that go along with it. Also, it would have a 5-year digital subscription. So in the budget summary, if you looked at their budget summary, you notice that their current amount of textbook money available is $14,303.32. So this total was combined with some carryover funds from last year, which was $5,149.12, with this year's funds, which was $9,154.20. So South Middle would have to contribute an additional $981.59 out of their SBDM allocations to pay for this total purchase. So after that, they will have $0 in their textbook funds. So I recommend that the board approve the textbook plan for Muhlenberg South Middle School in the amount of $15,284.91 so that needed sixth grade mathematics materials can be purchased and ordered.
I make a motion. Motion by Ms. Laval. Second by Mr. Johar. All in favor of approval of the Muhlenberg South Middle School 17-18 textbook purchase, say aye. Aye. All opposed? I hear none. Okay, and next is to consider a donation to the Muhlenberg County High School Project Prom. Mr. Davis?
Thank you, Chairman Rager. I talked about this Monday night. This is in line with what the board has done in the past. I do recommend it. It's a safe environment. It's a one-time-a-year thing, and it benefits a whole lot of our kids. So it helps them reach, I think, the 13,000 or so is what they're trying to get to. So it's a costly thing, but I do recommend we help with that.
I make a motion to consider the donation to the Project Prom for the high school in the amount of $500.
Second.
Second by Ms. Wells. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed? I hear none. Next, consider the 2018-19 student accident insurance. Mr. Bletzinger?
Thank you, Chairman Rager. This is the student accident insurance that helps cover any additional expenses for those students who get injured during school activities. They first submit the claim to their primary insurance, and then this supplements that. And it's also insurance for those students that have none. So, and it would act as primary insurance. I'm recommending that we keep the same policy that we have, and the current bid, again, was about $220 less than last year, and so over the course of 2 years, it's gone down approximately $500 in premium.
Okay. Need a motion to accept. Motion by Mr. Bowers.
Second.
Second by Ms. Wells. All in favor of considering the 18-19 student accident coverage, say aye. Aye. All opposed? I hear none. We're down to the award-winning bid for uniform services for the Muhlenberg County Board of Education. Mr. Bletzinger?
Oh, thank you again. Again, this is the uniform services for maintenance, bus garage, custodians. And I'm recommending that we go with Cintas with this contract. It's a significant savings over the course of time. I think their tracking is going to be better.
And as you said the other night, we've had some issues with the other.
We have.
Need a motion to approve bids. And who? For the uniform. No, but for the Cintas. Okay. All in favor of approving the winning bid for uniform services to Cintas for the Muhlenberg County Board of Education, say aye. Aye. All opposed? I hear none. Consider declaring Ford Ranger surplus at the Muhlenberg County High School West Campus. Mr. Bletzinger?
Thank you. This is the Ford Ranger that was donated to us previously. They've basically, it's run its course. It's got no parts really left on it, so they just want to scrap it and use the funds to purchase other items that they can use in that class.
Okay.
Are they going to purchase a new vehicle for the class, or?
I do not know. That I'm not aware of.
Need a motion to accept the recommendation.
Make a motion.
Motion by Mr. Bowers.
Second.
Second by Ms. Wells. All in favor of considering declaring the Ford Ranger surplus at the high school West Campus, say aye. Aye. All opposed? I hear none. Consider accepting donation of truck to Muhlenberg County High School. Mr. Bletzinger.
And Logan has left, but basically, Logan approached Ms. Bumps about donating a truck for the use at the high school and throughout the rest of the district. They estimate the value about between $27,000 and $30,000. Donations above $22,500 must be accepted by the board. And I think this is a great opportunity, fantastic savings to the district. So I recommend that we accept the donation.
Okay. I move that we accept the recommendation of the donation of the truck to our high school from Old National Bank.
Second.
Second by Mr. Bowers. All in favor of accepting the donated truck to Muhlenberg County High School?
How many vehicles do we have currently? I know this is a donation, but, I mean, how many do we have in our district?
Probably close to 125,
Vehicles?
buses included.
No buses. I'm talking about passenger vehicles like the vans.
Maybe possibly 8. Is that about right? About 8? Just regular vehicles.
If you include maintenance, I mean, you're getting up around.
Oh, that's true. You got the maintenance trucks.
You're getting around 50 vehicles.
I'm talking about the transporting of students, like the vans.
Then I'd say it's probably about 8.
8?
Anything else? All in favor of accepting the donated truck to the Muhlenberg County High School, say aye. Aye. All opposed? I hear none.
Do I have a question? Is this going to be used to transport kids? It is, I have to inspect.
Possibly, so.
Well, I think it says something about the bass fishing team.
I mean,
so whether it's only for their exclusive use or not, I guess you would probably, for the safe side, I would hope you would want to inspect it, right?
If students are involved, I have to inspect it monthly.
Would that be a problem for him to inspect it monthly?
Well, not that I know of.
Okay. Down to approving the BG1 revised regarding the roof replacement at the Muhlenberg County Board of Education Central Office. Mr. Blitzinger.
Thank you. Once we approved the vendor or the construction company to fix the roof, we had to revise the numbers per KDE. So all the new BG1 is it's revised numbers per the bid that we received.
Any questions? Okay, I need a motion to accept the recommendation. Have a motion by Mr. Johar.
Second.
Second by Mr. Bowers. All in favor of approving the BG1 revised regarding the roof replacement at the Board of Education Central Office, say aye. Aye. All opposed? I hear none. We're down to the board consent agenda, leave of absence requests, fundraising requests, and field trip requests. If there's no concerns, I need a motion to approve. Motion by Ms. Wells, second by Mr. Johar. All in favor of the board consent agenda approval, say aye. Aye. All opposed? And I need a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion to adjourn.
Motion by Ms. Wells, and I'll second. All in favor of adjourning, say aye. Aye. All opposed?